All right, so you guys now know what we want to look for. How are we going to find it? So in this section, we're going to talk about all the ways that we can go ahead and find ideas. So there's essentially a couple of ways. There is going to be kind of looking at products. So we're going to put our criteria of what we're going to look for, and we're going to put that into tools which are going to help us find products. Or you could just go and put the ideas into your head and try to find products and markets that meet that. So sometimes products aren't going to necessarily give us everything because each product is a part of multiple markets, and markets on Amazon are keywords. So that's where we go over keyword methodology. So essentially with product, we find a product right here, and then we look back and look at all the keywords, which are the markets that it ranks for and that it's selling on. Okay, but the other methodology is keyword. So instead of finding a product and finding the keywords and markets that it's for, we instead look for keywords, which are the markets, and then we find the products within those. And then we see, hey, is this a good market to go into? All right. And every product is a part of multiple keywords. So we're going to teach you how to find products and then the keywords and markets that they'll sell through. Then we'll teach you how to find the markets and keywords and then see the products that are selling through there. You can find successful products and markets either way. We'll also teach you ways of reverse engineering. So essentially what that means is going and looking at successful sellers, successful stores, and people who are successful on other marketplaces and whatnot, and how to reverse engineer and see what's working for them to essentially find other ways of success, because success leaves clues. And yeah, you can learn a lot by reverse engineering things. Then we'll teach you all sorts of neat creative ways. So maybe going on these social medias. I'll teach you how to go on Pinterest, how to use the native Amazon website in different ways, and all sorts of other cool techniques to find product opportunities. Then, if you want, you could go to China. I went to China. I found a lot of product opportunities. We'll teach you how building relationships with suppliers and getting on their email list and asking them for all of their products can get you some other opportunities, and how going to trade shows and in-person events and building relationships, or maybe even going to a factory, could give you a competitive edge. But you don't have to go to China. You could do it all online, or you could go to China like me. I knew nothing when I went to China. Now, the final word is you could kind of treat this as an encyclopedia if you want. You don't have to watch or do all of the ways of product research. It only takes one way to find a good product opportunity, but I figured I would put them all out there so that you can get out there and find the most ways to collect ideas. And you definitely always want to be looking at keywords and markets and thinking of those things that we talked about in the winning criteria so that you can go ahead and get a successful product opportunity. So gather as many ideas as you can, and then eventually you'll move on and you'll go through the pitfalls and the validation. Essentially, like we'll say this multiple times. So essentially, we are collecting all the ideas here. Then we break them down, and eventually one comes through or a couple come through that meet our criteria, don't run into any pitfalls, seems like a good opportunity, and you're just like, wow, I should go for this. And then you do that, and then you move on to the sourcing section. So let me know if you guys have any questions or suggestions on any of the ideas and methodologies in here, and I hope that you guys find a great product opportunity. Let's go over why most sellers fail before we get into product research, just so you guys have a general idea and know what to be looking for and looking out for. The number one reason is people just give up. Literally half the people that buy any course pretty much in the world don't even open it. So congratulations, you're watching this, you made it. But now I need you guys to make a commitment, just like that lady did. Or should I say man? Anyways, if you just keep with it and don't give up over time, you have a much higher chance of succeeding because you'll keep getting chances. If you give up, you automatically fail. Number two most common reason is that basically they'll go into a market and they don't do anything different. So they're just a commodity, and you can't really choose anything when the market all looks the same. The best example of this is the pet glove. Everybody's just making blue pet gloves here. And there's this random black one, which is the other variation, but everybody's basically doing the same thing here, and there's not that much differentiation or choice. So they're going into a market where there's not that much choice, or if there is choice, they're still just copying somebody else because they're saying somebody else was successful. I bet I could just do that and be successful. It doesn't work like that. Okay, if you are wondering more about that, you can watch the consumer needs video. The next most common thing is they go into too competitive of a market. Now imagine you wanted to go into a market that was like protein powder, for example. Right here, you can see that the protein market, some of these top sellers are doing $2 million a month. They have thousands of reviews. They're well rated. They're sold in Costco, Walmart, some of the world's biggest retailers. So basically, people will come in and maybe you did differentiate, but you're going up against the biggest companies in the world, and that's just difficult. So that's the main thing. It's a combination. You can differentiate, but you go into something too competitive. Or you could do nothing different and go into something competitive. That's what a lot of people do. The next most common reason why people fail is they go for a trend product. The most common example is the famous fidget spinner, of course. Typically, these products will be newer, like a new thing such as fidget spinners or squishies. They'll be cheap, relatively cheap, made out of plastic or metal in some shape like that. And it just looks like an amazing opportunity. Wow, I can't believe nobody's found this. Look at how much money I can make. And everybody does it. But don't worry, we will teach you guys how to make sure that you're not going for a trend product. And it's actually very easy to know that if something is a trend. So don't worry about that. Now, the next most common reason why people fail if they do this is that they don't have a good quality product. So they did things right, okay? They found a market where they did something different or that people wanted that wasn't there. And, you know, it looked great. They had enough money to compete. They did everything right, but the product didn't match their idea that they were going to make. So you could have a great idea and it'll work, but if the product doesn't work, then you're going to get bad reviews and people are going to be unhappy. And reviews are everything on Amazon. So you have to have an amazing quality product. But luckily, we teach you guys how to make sure that you get a good quality product and find a good supplier to help make what you're looking for. Now, probably the most least common reason why people fail is that they made a really great product, but nobody wants it. This doesn't happen very often. So basically, they'll make something good and they'll maybe invent or think, hey, this is what people want, but it's not actually what they want. But we show you guys how to make sure in the consumer needs video and reading customer reviews. Basically, you can look at all the products in a market, see what people are saying they like and don't like, and then that way you can pretty easily find what people actually want that doesn't exist yet. And so this is a very rare one because normally if you are able to get a good quality product, people are going to want it as long as you did some little check marks ahead of time, and it's really easy to make sure that that works out. So that's not normally a problem. Another reason why people will fail is if they have a bad listing. Basically on Amazon, you have to have a good listing these days. So you got to have good photos and you need a good written listing, but it doesn't have to be the best written listing in the world. It just has to have enough words on it. We teach you guys how to do that. So you don't need to worry about this part at all. You just got to get some good photos, but that's not hard either because there's companies that help take photos for you. So this one really doesn't even count. Now, what I should add here is bad reviews. So this will cause people to fail, but that's a result of the product quality or your listing not matching what the product is. So if you're getting bad reviews, then that will make a product fail, even if it was good, but it was marketed incorrectly. But that's pretty easy to fix by just marketing it honestly. And this is actually one that I've never seen fail. So this is what's great. A lot of people think it's all about ranking and launching and all this, hard stuff. And it's just about getting something up there and getting it to the top page one. That will happen as a result of doing other good things. So this is what I've never seen fail, where you have a good product, okay? So it's a great quality product and it's solving needs of the market that nobody else was, or, different needs that haven't been solved yet, or it's some way what people want, and it's a good choice. And then not too competitive of market, because you could have a great product that solves needs, but it's just there's so much money in the market that everybody can out advertise, and it's just hard to get to the top of the page. But if you go into a market, and we'll teach you how you can tell what a competitive market is and whatnot, but if you go into something that is not too big and not too small, and you have a good product that's solving needs, and you have just some good photos and some words, which is pretty easy, then it works. Some people think it's all about launching and ranking hacks. It's not, okay? If you're going into the right size of market for yourself and you had a good product help that people want, it's not about the launch. You can just run some ads and it's really easy. So that's going to be the summary of the reasons why people fail. So when you're looking and going throughout all of this, definitely watch the unsolved needs, because we're wanting to bring products that people want to the market. Oh, also the other main reason why people fail is because they're afraid. Or they're stuck in analysis paralysis. They'll look at idea after idea after idea, trying to find the perfect one, or they just never go through and take action. So if you guys just go through and learn and actually take action, you will have success. Or, but this is essentially what most people are like. They're just sitting there looking at opportunities and they're like, not that one, not that one. So if you just go ahead, follow these and go through and actually start taking action on it, you will be very likely to succeed. So in summary, I've seen thousands of students and what makes one successful and what hasn't. And what I can say is common among people, it's just determination and actually following the guidelines that I talk about here. I spent 1.5 years doing this. I've talked to thousands of sellers, and I know what is, the commonalities between good and bad sellers, and I put them all into principles here. So if you guys watch through and actually take action and get going, you will be one of those people that succeeds. And I'm really excited. I actually just saw another video of someone today. Somebody that worked with me with the Eclipse, his friend in Michigan, watched my course just 2 months ago, and he's already, he turned $500 into $5,000 in 55 days. And he just sent a video saying thanks. So he just took some action, followed these guidelines, watched the whole course, and he made it. So it's definitely possible, but only if you go and take action. So if you guys are unsure about anything in here, if you leave a very detailed question, I can add videos and respond, and then it'll just keep growing as time goes on. It's already the best out there, but if we all communicate, help with each other, encourage each other, take action, you can do it. This is the biggest change in commerce history. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I wish you the best of success. So as we're going through this whole section of product research, what we're always looking for is those unsatisfied needs of the customer, because that's where we are able to make something new and have a competitive advantage. So a couple of things that I'm always looking out for: reviews. So reviews are gold, because it's customers who have paid who are voting with their words. And they, barely anybody leaves reviews on Amazon. So if they leave a review saying what they like, that's good, because that's a need they want. And if they leave a review complaining about something, well, then you know that there's something that isn't satisfied and that we could come in and fulfill it. So the customer reviews are gold to us, and we'll show you in another video how to download and really dig deep into those customer reviews. What else? Well, social media. If people are complaining about something or not complaining, they're praising it or talking about how much they love something, that's another way to learn about the market and their needs and whatnot. And one kind of neat thing about social media is if you go use Pinterest or whatnot, specifically if you're in the female niche or something, a lot of the times you'll see them hacking a solution. So one way I know that things need to be created in the world is if you see people making their own solutions. So that means there's clearly not something on the market that's fulfilling their needs. Oftentimes go look at the DIY space or wedding and all sorts of stuff. There's lots of cool projects there, and that is covered later in the course, kind of really digging deep on that. Now, another way that we can find unfulfilled needs is just knowledge of the market. So for example, I know a lot about Arduinos and a lot about some other hobbies that I have. So I can go in there and I know intuitively what people want, what I've wanted from spending so much time in the marketplace. And then I'm able to come up with kind of those ideas. You need to validate with search demand and other ways, but it's always a good inkling to, kind of know where to look. The last one is intuition. So when you look at a market and a product and it just seems like something really doesn't match here. Like when I was looking at the Eclipse glasses, I saw, these all look like some really cheap gas station glasses, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime event that tens of millions of people are going to view. People probably want premium ones or really good-looking designs, so I saw a mismatch there, and so I really focused on quality and great designs as well as a premium one. So it's a combination of intuition, social proof, people voting with their words, and then also your knowledge of the market. Kind of use all these together, and that's what I'm always looking for here. So as I go throughout this and all the different product research methods, you may see me glance over some or really dig into some. But if I really dig into one, it's probably because I just kind of have intuition that, hey, there's probably some unfulfilled needs here, or I have some insider knowledge or something. So basically use your own techniques and maybe some of these to find where there are unfulfilled needs. Throughout these videos, we'll be using different methodologies and we're going over all of them, but this is what we're always looking for with each individual methodology. Let's get into it. So the easiest way to figure out what the customer needs are is looking at the reviews. Then we can find those unfulfilled needs and the needs that are absolutely necessary to them. So before I show you guys how we do it and kind of hands-on, I'm just going to tell you quick what we're looking for. We're going to go and look at the reviews of the products of ones that are really high star and the ones that are lower. So you can see of the products that are crushing it, what is important to them, and then of the ones that need improvement, what's up. So basically what we're looking for is like who's using this. So that way we get a better in-depth knowledge of who our customer base is. Then also like the use cases, are they using this for anything specifically? Because we could include that in our listing, or maybe there's a better solution for that. Really, well, of course we want to know what they don't like, or even what they wish it had, because that's just them saying I wish it had this, and so it's like, hey, build this for me. Okay, and then also what they like, because if they like something about it, then we should probably include that in it. Okay, so we're going to go and look at drone carrying cases or backpacks just to analyze the market and kind of learn who the people are buying and what their needs are and what they kind of like and what they don't like. So we'll take a look at this one. So what we use is the Helium 10 Chrome extension, and we can use this review downloader. Now it's really nice, and we could choose the dates. We'll just choose all of them. I'm only going to choose verified purchases because essentially what verified purchase means somebody paid at least 50% of the retail price. So it's not a fake review. And then I don't care about the other ones. Now, if you were to just choose this, it would only show the 2, 3, 4, and 5 stars. If we did this, it would only show the 5 stars. But we want to download all of them just to get as much data as possible. Then you hit extract. You don't need to pay for Helium 10 to get this. You can get the Chrome extension for free. We have a link down there. And what you could do is you could either export these and save them into Excel yourself, or we could use an analysis. And I like to use the analysis because you can see exactly what people are using this for. So I would say it's pretty safe to say that people are using this for the Phantom 3. So what is that? Well, that's a use case right there. So that's kind of neat. So we looked up drone carrying cases, and it appears that the Phantom 3 is showing up a lot here. So that's something good to note here. Let's see, what else is there? Main compartment. So let's see, it says high quality, fits perfectly. People carry it. You could fit other small items in it or something. Fits my Phantom. Okay. So yeah, you can, that's kind of a neat thing. What we could also do now is go ahead and start looking at some other ones. Do the same process. Okay, this was obviously for the Phantom 3, but this one apparently seems to be that too. So you could get a high-level analysis by doing this, but if you really want to dig in and find some more, important stuff, go ahead and start looking at maybe the 3 stars. Well, so here's an interesting thing to note. So this has 3.7 stars, but all of the verified purchases are 5 stars. Very interesting. We go back and read the other one. We can read some negative reviews to see what people want to improve. So this one, he bought it for the Phantom 4, but after 3 weeks, its durability had questioned. So it had a low quality zipper, and then there was a little hole. Okay, so it looks like this isn't the highest quality, so quality is definitely important. You could also go ahead and read the positive ones and start to, really see what's important. So here's sturdy. Racing quad. All of my racing quad stuff fits in the bag. Okay, so people are using these to race drones potentially. So if you want to get the most feedback, look at the 2 to the 4-star reviews, because typically 5 stars, I mean, they can be great if somebody absolutely loves it. And then but you're either getting somebody who's absolutely a fanboy or somebody who's absolutely mad. And oftentimes the 1-star reviews, they're just like, there's one thing that was wrong and it's a 1 star, or it was like shipping or something. So if you look in the 2 to 4, that's somebody who's like, that's just a different type of person who puts a 2 to a 4-star review versus a 5 or a 1. So here is a 4-star review. This guy researched for weeks and decided to buy it, so that is something I would want to read. The Phantom fits snug. I have room for 2 extra batteries, so there's a use case, and you need to kind of know how it goes. My remote controller and his camera, so people are maybe bringing their camera and their drone. That makes sense. Okay, so he says right here, the only issue that he has is that the waist strap is pretty difficult to adjust. It appears that many of the drone backpack makers have no clue that people who hike need to carry water and oftentimes needs lots of water. With the bag, there are mesh pouches on both sides for water bottles. This is a huge plus. So that's actually very true. I mean, with my drone myself, oftentimes I'm bringing it when I'm hiking or traveling. I'm not just going out and just randomly flying my drone. It's normally I'm only going to do drone if I'm traveling. And if you're traveling, you're probably going to need water. So that's cool. So in these in-depth reviews, you're really going to be able to find out those things that people love and things they wish they had, and then also room for improvement, and just get a really in-depth analysis of the market so that you can come up with a good idea of what you should innovate on. So in general, I'm going to look over all the reviews and start to kind of mind map it out. So, gather down who's going to be the target market, what are their needs, what are the use cases, and then you're going to be able to kind of put these together and draw a picture of what's on the market and what are the needs and what doesn't exist. So obviously, just after reading a couple of those reviews, we saw there was like a drone racer, somebody traveling. It looked like everybody universally wanted to protect the drone. And then obviously room for accessories. They all talked about, having extra propellers or batteries and stuff like that, cameras, and that somebody complained about it not being comfortable around the waist. Somebody was saying they were going to go hiking with it. And they're obviously all transporting their drones. And then somebody was like, oh, the water bottles holder was really nice. Nobody else has that. So you can start to just kind of make your own mind map, and just a really good way to start planning out the needs and see where the holes in the market are. So this was the process that I used to innovate in the Eclipse market. I got to learn all about the market that people were using for photography. They're using telescopes. People were buying for their kids. They were worried about the safety and worried about their kids taking them off. And if I wouldn't have done this process, I wouldn't have known to make the goggles. I wouldn't have known to go and make telescope filters and camera filters. And I wouldn't have really known about the target market. So this is a very valuable process to figure out those customer needs. So make sure to go download that free extension from Helium 10. It's a really useful tool. And now they added that word cloud, you can really analyze in depth. So I like that. Now we're actually going to show you guys how to go find product opportunities. But as you're digging in and you're like, hey, I think there might be room for improvement here, that's one way that you can go and actually dig and find out some more data. Now, some markets might not even have that many reviews and are still a good product opportunity. You see that later in the course, but reviews, definitely a good way to validate. And there's a validation section at the end. So just some quick tips with this. Obviously, we were just kind of analyzing the high level. Maybe you could go and just download all the negative reviews from the people in the market, and then download all the positive, and then start to list out all the things that people like, and then all the things that people don't like and wish, and then, kind of do your own analysis there, but definitely a helpful tool. All right, reviews are a useful tool in your tool belt, but now we're going to actually show you guys how to go find product opportunities and markets next.